Welcome back to the Command Stack. I'm John, and
Ken.
who else do we
Oh,
have
sorry.
with us today?
I'm a very excited Ken today, I guess.
Yeah, we definitely have Ken. I'm Garrett.
I'm Ryan.
And we are preparing. This is the week of Worlds, week of Adepticon. So we're going to be talking tonight about the lead up to it. We're what, 4 days away now, I believe?
In 1 week from now, we'll know who wins Worlds.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. About this time.
Oh, earlier than this, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. We're recording. We're recording Sunday night.
We need to
Yeah.
go back, go to bed.
We'll all be, exhausted from our drives home is my guess. So, uh, but nonetheless, yeah, no, I think Adepticon starts Wednesday night, so in 3 days, and the Armada tournament starts in Friday, so it'd be 4.5-ish. So,
Nice.
The Armada singles tournament starts on Friday. There's another event Thursday. It's just kind
right.
of
It's a
that you
practice
can
day.
go play.
Like a 3 round practice. Be good.
Get prize wall tickets.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I guess I'll just take the lead here. We wanted to kind of throw something together before Adepticon, kind of our final thoughts. It is a brave new world with this meta. Um, a lot of over 100 cards have changed. And there hasn't been much practice time before Worlds, which makes it extra exciting. And so I wanted to try to talk through what we expect to see at Worlds through this lens. Um, this conversation that we have a lot on some of the Discords is this idea of, is something going to be so prevalent or it's so powerful that you have to tech against it? Tech in the wargaming sense that you actively change a part of your fleet, whether that's objectives, your loadout, and you tech against something. The best illustration of this probably is my Overload Pulse fleet. As Agate was becoming popular, I said you have to tech against Agate. You can't. She's so prevalent and she's so powerful that you have to have a can opener kind of in your list. So you have to have a boarding troopers, an overload pulse, or both. So that's what I mean by tech. And then the other way is, well, something's not so prevalent, it's not so powerful. You just have to kind of find a way to fly around it. You change your tactical style in game to adjust to something. So that's, are you teching against something or are you kind of flying around it? So that's what I wanted to kind of talk about. Do you guys see anything in the meta with the changes that you have to tech against?
I think honestly, the people that weren't using the cards that got changed are going to have the strongest ability to do well.
Right. Like people who fleets weren't reliant on LTTs, for example.
Correct.
That was going to be mine.
Specifically with the LTT, because LTT is the people's solution for squadrons. Right. And they still can function that way, but now you're not going to get additional versatility of being able to go after ships unless you're like the very small handful of ships that are able to do the whole text. I think that card was people tacking and getting the benefit of other things in the past, and that's no longer going to be the case.
So I know we're all in agreement here, but I'll start it off with a couple of different categories here. But squadrons, 134 plus squadrons. I think you have to tech against that. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think running squadless probably won't work this year at all. So,
or if you do, you bring things like PDIC or early warning system.
I don't think
you
it'd
have
be
a plan,
enough.
right?
Right. Yeah, I don't think it'd be enough.
PDIC also increased in price.
It went up in points.
So you're going to sacrifice something else to be able to take it now. So although you can do it, you're either losing your bid or here's one key upgrade to your fleet. We're going to see some changes in how fleets are optimized. We're also going to see a couple different fleets that frankly benefited from a lot of these changes. I'm a big fan of the DTT change because I like that better than LTTs, but it doesn't do anything against 134 squadrons.
Do you guys think squads got better? with this update?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because they're not as susceptible to LTT firepower. Generics especially have a little bit more staying power now because you just can't fly SWAT one generic squadron per turn with LTT.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
you
can
can, but
if you wanted to, but your ship's not going to benefit from it.
right, you're not getting those re-rolls
From
anymore.
shooting as well. You're not going to get the double benefit. You can go one direction or the other. I still think we're going to see a whole lot of LTT because that is such a powerful ability to add 2 dice into a squad attack and swat squadrons away.
Especially on like a ruthless strategist ship, we'll still take LTTs, I think, because that's the whole point of that ship now, right?
Correct.
All right, well here's a different one then. I think we're all in agreement on squads. But what about MSU? You know, your CR90 spam fleets, maybe your counselor with Anakin and Peltas, your four Pelta fleets. Is it your MC30 fleets? Is MC30s or is MSU multiple small unit fleets something worth checking against?
Yes, but the changes actually MSU is going to be stronger right now than it was before. And if you look at the changes to the admirals and the changes to the cards, they started eliminating things that generated accuracies, like the price change to not be able to set her dice to an accuracy is a huge buff for MSU.
That's a great point. I had not thought about how the price change will buff MSU.
Like significantly buff MSU.
Yeah, MSU, it's back to just maneuvering and deployment to try and mitigate how many shots they can get on you from the beginning of the game. And so that answer to, I don't think that really changes how you fly against MSU, but MSUs are going to be more prevalent because of the price change alone. Like that one card alone, like brought a bunch of people out of the woodworks.
It makes the planning for more difficult, I guess. They're very difficult fleets to fly against MSU because you really only have one turn on target, and then they're gone.
Yep.
And so you have to find a way to try to pile the damage on. Which with Onagers and Price, to John's point, you could do very easily. But
you could like one shot most of the ships from across the board with Onagers and Price. That's not going to be the case now. So I know I'm jumping out of line, but with that change, I actually think we're going to see more farming fleets.
I had that one as well. That is a kind of archetype as well. Farming. I think you have to. I don't think you have to tech against farming. I think you have to have a plan to how to fly against them.
Yes, I would agree with that. But you have to fully commit. And so like, if you can't just table them, then you have to have a different plan. It's back to the I pick your red and then I will take a 6 or a 5, depending on if I can snipe one of your squadrons type of game plan at that point. But you need to be able to table those fleets. I honestly think we're going to see farming coming back strong and not necessarily just rebel farming. I think we're going to see farming in all sorts of different fleets, except for the Republic.
I think it'll look like, but like Anakin lists can farm, right? And Anakin lists themselves with your 6-7 ships can farm. But I think what we saw last year with Peter winning, he had a farming fleet, right?
Yep.
That was, and it's Peter's fleet still works, and you have to figure out a way to beat it.
So the big thing people need to tech against this year is there's going to be more CIS players. Period.
Yes.
I've been seeing it already. Players who play different factions last year bringing CIS. You're going to get Patriot's Fist in every list. And that thing is a monster to deal with at long range. That is a solution to keeping a lot of the MSU and farming fleets down, actually. Because Patriot's Fist can just, Pac-Man walk across the table, taking out ships. So,
and you cannot get out of its arcs.
Right.
No. Correct me if I'm wrong, but neither of the Recusant classes can benefit from the rerolls with LTT now, correct?
No, only the Providence.
So what do you bring as your turbo
the Dreadnought, right?
Well, people, you can bring swivels, right? Which makes Patriot's Fist even worse because now you're adding black dice.
You say worse, but I think you mean more fun.
Yeah, more fun. I think Patriot's Fist and a Trench Providence is going to be a pretty common archetype that's going to do well. A Providence that can't go down, right? Bring EWS and thermals on it, and then a Patriot's Fist that just punches you in the face. And
I
then,
think Garrett, I think you see that combo, Providence, Patriots Fist, with almost any Admiral that's in CIS. I think you
yeah,
see with
it
Mark
works with
II.
all of them. Yeah. It just makes it really powerful when you can double dial. And the CIS has such good tools to get those tokens to make trench work, and trench is cheaper. But yeah, I think TF is going to be dangerous still, like he used to be. He won't be overpowered. But Martuk, Grievous,
TF
and
though
Trench.
now can give out 2 tokens a turn with each ship,
Yeah,
with slicers and with, oh no, because you can't put them on the
you
same
can't.
ship. But you
Yeah,
can do
'cause one's battle
slicers and you can do battle.
combo, and that's the other buff to CIS. The Gazantes went down.
Yeah.
And now that Sand Hill is fixed, Gazantes can be really effective carriers for 2 turns. Right, like pushing 4 squadrons with flight controllers. They won't. So yeah, CS is like in general going to do really, really well this year. There'll be more than one list in the top 8.
I was going to say, I think this is actually a good thing because I think the last year we kind of didn't see a lot of CIS fleets. And then
Or
this
the year
change,
before that.
or the year before that. I think this change is just going to bring a lot more of that. So there might, who knows, maybe since this is the first big event, with 150 people going to be at it, it'll be interesting to see the fleet mix, which hopefully we'll get in the next 2 or 3 days. And then we'll be able to get a lot more information to you guys on Friday for sure.
So I think you guys kind of touched on it. Slicers is something that, slicer tools that can wreck your fleet. If you change that squad dial to, con fire, you're in a lot of trouble. So our slicers, and they've gotten a little bit more flexible with starting at ready and then also being able to toss a ray token alternatively. Do you check against slicers?
I honestly think you have to.
Well, yeah.
I am very on the one side of the fence because my first Worlds I lost like 3-4 games strictly because of strikers, slicers slicing my Gazanti every single round pretty much for the entire game. But like you can't even like use like Gazantes in this case to protect against it anymore. Because if you don't have a dial, they just give you a raid and then you're done for the next turn regardless. Slicer's power level has drastically increased.
And you can tech, you can do skilled first officer if you have a Quasar. Like there's ways you're pursuing, you can do it. You can tech against it relatively cheaply.
Yeah. If you're not already bringing an ability to clear raid tokens, that's really the best tech against these new slicer tools with the raid token mechanic. But still, you guys already said it, skill first officer, which you're not going to put on a lot of ships. I think, some fleets are just going to struggle. Republic, they have clone navigation officers, but like if you change a Venator's top command dial, like you're smoked. Like your fleet's done, right? Unless you're flying, 4 peltas and only 1 pelta gets affected by the slicers, right? So
it's specifically talking about a Venator. The Venator doesn't have enough long range firepower to kill any ship that carries slicers on it. It will get sliced, guaranteed.
Yep. And the only time you do have long range is when you're carrying fats. And then the slicers don't really matter. So
correct. That's exactly it.
The GAR is so smoked in this tournament. I'm thinking like 10% or less GAR-less.
I think people enjoy. I don't know.
GAR is a lot of fun to play though.
Yeah,
that's the thing that it has going for it. Its squads are fun, its ships are fun, and you either win or you explode. So
right. But Worlds is you're there to win, so people are going to tech. They're going to bring the fleet that can win. Generally,
one of my hot takes for Worlds is that there won't be an Admiral with higher than 10% participation rate in the field.
Really?
So you won't have more than 15 agates. Let's say that's my hot take.
I don't know with these cheaper Rebel Larges. I think you will.
So to this point, do you tech against agate?
Still, yes.
Yeah.
The thing about teching against Agate is it still works even better against everyone else.
Good point.
Boarding Troopers was always good. I love Boarding Troopers before Agate came out. And then Agate came out, like you said, you have to use Boarding Troopers. Just let's get these tokens gone. Boarding Troopers was always good. It's just people started looking at it more when Agate came out. If you run against a fleet that's not Agate, your Boarding Trooper still does exactly what it needs to do.
I have not seen anyone do this, but like it used to be the terror for a while, but Sloan, Avenger, Boarding Troopers is still present, right? Like you could still do that and it would still be really good, I think. But
Minus the Avenger part. But yes.
yeah.
Starting off and flipping all the tokens and then just chucking them all with Sloan is still very, very good.
Yes.
And what's interesting is back in the day when that was really prevalent, people weren't doing the double tap with Marek, which is crazy to think about if you look back at it. Everyone was running more of just like Interceptor ace type swarms than Marek double tapping with it.
Yeah.
Which was there the entire time.
An autofill now. Yeah. Speaking of things, points changes, I think Architects are going to be more on the field. You can fit a lot more interesting tech now that they're cheaper. So Architect MSU, Imperial Architect MSU is going to be popular.
Well, and Hand of Justice being 2 points, it's just like, why not? Like the timing is not that flexible, but for 2 points, like get your brace back or, like that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's actually one of the things that this update kind of did wind up doing. There was enough adjustments to some of the upgrades where they became, why not? This is actually not bad for 2 points. And that's kind of, it's just going to be really interesting to see how the meta, just in general, especially at this level of competitiveness at Worlds, how all these changes have just merged together to see how people are going to work against it. Because we're running off of what we think. We could be spot on, or I think it'd be hysterical if we are all completely wrong and there's something brand new none of us have thought about that really kind of shines.
Well, to your point, Ken, Patrick won LVO with a home one, expanded launchers, Shriv list, which went down
the updates.
Before the update, and then it went down like 16, 17 points. So the big, I think, talking point in the meta right now is Radis. You can do things with Radis. You can take, an interdictor and, put your gravity well down, or you can take your gravity rift, right? Gravity rift objectives are wonderful tech against Radis because anywhere within 2 of, distance 2 of that gravity rift, you're dropping at 0 as Radis. So is Radis dangerous enough? Is he prevalent enough to tech against?
Yeah, with the cheaper MC75s, they're going to be everywhere. I'm thinking Radis will be on par with Akbar this year in popularity. Speaking of Radis and the MC75s, do you guys think the expanded launchers will be on list this time?
I think they will be. Expanded launchers was always fun, and it excels in places that that you're going to get a shot and to maximize that shot. And now that it's cheaper, and the way you usually should drop your 75s is in like a side arc to block a ship in and then like ram it. So you should be able to get 2 shots off with it. So it should be pretty good there.
Any what about any other ships?
Venators, Imperial.
Yeah, do you think the Imperial
ship
will be there?
That ship is already so much fun with that. Have you guys ever flown the Venator decked out?
Yeah.
No.
I have.
It's amazing. You can I've seen once a victory get 1 shot off the board with that ship.
So, because you can load, well, first off, it can take ECMs, which is amazing. But anyways, board experts, throw expanded on there, plus X-Racks and LTTs. And the LTTs work because it has bombard.
So instead of LTT, make it so then you can do like an accuracy tech on
you
it,
could do H9s.
and then you just lock down everything, and then it's just pure damage.
Yep. Plus, one of the Imperial officers, if you're worried about defense, throw Palpatine on there, or you can throw,
I mean,
Price on there.
hell, it's got a salvo. You could just put DBY on there.
You could put DBYs, makes it
Yes,
even
you could.
cheaper. 100-point base, 100-point base. It's
All right.
it's
Last,
amazing.
do you guys have any archetypes, admirals that you think will be prevalent enough, dangerous enough to bring up in this tech versus kind of plan for discussion?
I think that admirals and commanders are going to be more of I'm choosing this as my playstyle than a counter playstyle. So
I agree with that sentiment. Yeah.
So like I'm going to choose a commander based off of overall, not because you're bringing a commander. Is that the question you were asking?
Yeah, I mean, is there a type of fleet out there, is there an upgrade that's dangerous enough, prevalent enough that you need to be prepared for, like PDIC or something, do you tech against PDICs in a way, but I don't know.
Vader.
Something along those lines. Yeah, Shrev, it might be, but I don't really see much else out there. I guess you always have to be prepared to fly against an SSD. It's a terrible meta for an SSD, I think, but you have to be prepared to fly against them because people like to bring them.
I
Right.
think you might see one or two changes with some of the Rebel MSU lists, especially with the changes to Maydeen. I've been playing with him a little bit more, so your MSU players want to have the ability to be more maneuverable. Maydeen's an answer to that, which allows you to confire in as your dials as opposed to navs. So there might be some minor changes like that to keep in mind.
Here's a question for you.
Yeah, fire away.
So you have your 5 traditional Rebel admirals, right? Riken, the 2 fish. What am I missing? Help me out. Agate
Radis.
and Kraken.
Well, that's
Oh, I'm sorry, MSU.
Yeah, so Akbar, Radis, Kraken, Agate. I think you have Maydeen now as a 6.
Yeah.
Do we see a 7th Rebel Admiral at Worlds? A different type of admiral. So we're going to see Agate, Akbar, Radis, Kraken, Riken, and Maydeen. I think
you will see Leia.
Leia.
I think so.
Leia token control.
I don't know. I don't think she'll still be popular. I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
I think the over/under is 6.5.
I think you're probably going to see as many Leias as you do Maydeen. I don't think Maydeen's going to be really that prominent. The other ones are still too powerful.
Well, I think you'll see a Maydeen or 2.
Yeah, but you also might see a Leia or 2.
I don't think we'll see Maydeen or Leia on day 2.
No.
Well, yeah, okay.
We both can agree to that.
Yeah.
That's only because I'm not playing in the tournament, Garrett. If
Has
I was
Maydeen.
playing, well, then we'd
I
see
mean, hey-
Raven in day 3 if I was playing, right? So
Yeah. I don't think we're going to see
I don't think we'll-
Draven.
I don't think we'll see
Yeah.
Draven.
You'll see Draven fleets. He's a bargain at $20.
yeah.
All right, I think that's a good discussion. Do you guys want to go to the Admiral game now?
Let's
Yeah,
go
for
to the
sure.
Admiral game. We've done this now, what, 2 years in a row, right?
Something like that.
We're going with the same rules that we did last time, so we're not blocking each other out of admirals. So we each are going to pick the admiral for each faction that we think is going to place the highest, and then we're going to rank who we think is going to be the top of those admirals.
So you want a golf score. You want low score wins, right?
Right.
Yes. The closest you get to the top with all of them, the better.
Okay.
No,
I
I
think-
won in 23. Who won last year?
You did, Ken.
Did I win again?
No,
Yes,
no.
you have a
You're
2
like-
streak. You have
Garrett
down
and
one.
I tied, and Garrett got it because he chose Agate as the winner. That was the tiebreaker. He got it last year.
Really? I gotta
Yeah.
go rewatch that.
Something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, because
I don't think I won last year. Yeah. The
No.
first year I did by a wide
significant margin, but that's because of the way we round robin picked.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got really lucky with that. So Not this time. Okay, so what faction do we want to start off with?
Rebels. Okay, Gar.
Gar. I'll start. Bale. Okay. I honestly think Bale is going to still be the best option for Gar. You get to have control of tokens and or dials getting added to you. This counters a lot of different shenanigans that you've seen out there, like slicers and things like that. In the pivotal moment for the ships that don't turn, you can drop a nav. If you need to repair, you can repair. I honestly think Bale is the best Gar commander.
And we can't pick the same Admiral, right?
Yeah, you can.
You can?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna say Anakin
Really interesting. Why is that? I'm curious.
because I think the only effective way to win as Gar at this point is MSU Anakin.
Okay. What do you
I
think,
just
Ryan?
I struggle to think what admirals are going to be brought. It's in a rough spot.
You, Lauren.
Yeah, you Lawrence the other option.
You pick that one.
You're right. I was thinking about Plo. Just I'll go Yularen just to be safe. I need some points.
Flo's
Plo-
dirty trick out ruined with rapid launch base changing.
Plo though also works with the new Rex or no, not
Wolf.
Rex. Wolf.
Yeah.
It's one of the clones. They all look alike. He finally could work. So
So I'm
Yeah.
going to pick Luminara. I was 50-50 with Bale and Luminara. I think just with, again, a lot of the changes that we've seen, example, PDIC is getting more expensive. I think there'll be a couple people that might consider bringing Luminara just because of the defensive nature of what she does.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
it's my pick.
I don't
Oh.
even know if Gar will make day 2. I'm gonna be totally open with you guys. I don't think they'll make day 2.
It's
Yeah.
going to be round 1 and day 2, and we're going to have Garrett. It's going to be a Republic fleet, and we're going to make sure Garrett talks about that right at the get-go. So
Be a miracle.
Okay.
Next.
So let's do Rebels next. Does someone else want to go first, or are you fine with me just plowing ahead?
Go for it.
Agate. Agate's still going to be the number one rebel out there. It's just too powerful. I get an
So
ECM built in and a defense token for free on the ship that I need to keep alive the most. Just so good. Radis is going to be powerful, but then it's bid war. Agate can go into a farming fleet. Agate can go into a fighting fleet. Agate's the most versatile rebel right now.
I'm gonna say Agate as well. I'm sorry. It's like it's the only thing that's gonna survive against stuff like Patriot's Fist. And kill Patriot's Fist. Because it's gonna be like, all right, whatever. Brace and then blow up your Patriot's Fist.
I think I'll go Akbar. I think you're going to see a lot of Akbar. Akbar did 2 in the top 8 last year.
Yeah, he's still phenomenal.
He's so good.
So
I
good.
was
A pain to
thinking-
fly against.
But is Akbar going to be as good now that you don't have LTTs?
Yeah.
He's still good, but he's not as good, right?
Not yeah, he still has
They-
TRCs and he still has Cake and a Sholin.
Yeah.
It's still gonna be
Caitlin
fine.
and Sholin keeps Akbar in business.
Right.
So Akbar was one I was thinking of only because of the changes to the MC80 points and all the other tech that goes along with Akbar. Things have gone down, but I'm actually going to go with Kraken because I think, as we've been talking about, we're going to see more MSU, and I think Kraken's going to be leading that charge. That's my opinion. I wanted to go with someone else, but end of the day, I'm kind of on this defensive tech thought process. So either I'm going to be completely wrong or 100% right. So we'll see.
My issue with Kraken is I do think your fleet has to be able to get a big win, a 9 or a 10. And Kraken, they can get a lot of wins, but they may not be big.
Yeah. They're good 7 fleets, so
But 7 gets you into day 2 pretty
That'll
much.
get you to
Yeah.
day 2.
7 gets you to day 3 almost. You only need to get lucky once during the
Yeah.
entire tournament and get an 8 or a 9.
Hmm.
So
I don't think
Empire.
you can get a 9.
no, that's true. Oh gosh. Let's see. Let's do Imperial next.
A lot of
And
choices.
I'm gonna go. I've avoided picking her for the last couple of years that we've done this, I'm just going with Sloan.
Really?
Yeah, it's either I just stick with my guts, Ozzel, because I still think Ozzel's so good because of speed control, but I'm gonna go with Sloan this time.
Hot take. I'm gonna go Thrawn again. Thrawn. I think Thrawn, Double Dial, Empire. I think they need all the help they can get after they got nerfed.
I think it's pretty well known at this point that I really don't have a life. So I went back and listened to some old podcasts that like 2017, 2018 when Thrawn came out, and kind of the hype at that time was Thrawn is amazing. And like they're like game changing, like everyone's gonna be flying Thrawn. And for a while, like with two ship, that was really the case. And you don't see him too much anymore.
He was he was in both the
He was
top
in the
eight
top
Imperial
eight. That was
fleets
Mac,
last year.
right? I mean, that was
Mac
top
and
eight, so.
Montana.
Yeah.
Montana had him?
Yes.
Yeah, it was 2 Throns in the top 8 last year.
These Thrawns
Oh,
are
man.
double dials are
But
crazy
there also
with
was a
squadrons.
Sloan, right?
Yeah, it was got
Slonager.
third.
Slonager.
Yeah, Jack-
So really there
yeah.
was an onager, if you want to be honest.
Yeah.
And there was an Ozzel. So Andy had the Ozzel. So
Yeah.
Yep.
well, I think I'll go Jerry.
Good
Every
choice.
every fleet that I build with Empire, I'm just like, Jerry's so good. I just want to add him in there. He's like kind of like Mahdi in that respect.
That's how I am with Ozzel, though. Like
Uh,
every Imperial fleet, I can just use Ozzel, and then it's just better. Maybe I should just go Ozzel. I'll just kick 3 times in a row. I've now picked Ozzel. We'll go with Ozzel. I'm changing it.
All right, I'm
It's
changing
going to cost
officially.
me it. I guarantee it.
All right, I'm putting down Ozzel with the little asterisk for you, John.
Oh God, it hurts.
So Ozzel was my number 2 pick. I'm going to go with Screed.
Ken.
No,
Ken,
hang on.
that's
Ken, what are you doing?
150 points right there. No one's going to be bringing Screed. Oh God.
But hang on. Hear me out. With all the new changes to like rapid reload, expanded launchers, you're going to have more people bringing black dice ships. And if you can use Screed and pull off a couple of crits, I mean, why not? Otherwise, yeah, Oz will be the way to go.
Ken, I will hand you a $20 bill on Saturday if a Screed is in day 2.
All right,
On
I'll take
stream.
that bet. I'm
On
now
stream.
locking Screed
We'll get
in
that on
or I'm
camera.
out this
On
year.
stream.
Screed. I don't
Man.
think, look, I don't think Screed's bad. He's not bad.
Mm-mm.
I
No,
just
it's not
don't think
bad.
I don't
Just
think
not
people
good.
had enough time to like consider him as an admiral and
Oh man.
fly a couple of times.
You can use them on Architens because they're cheaper now too.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it really comes down to this. If you're
They're
going to
black
try
dice
and
at
win
the
this
front.
thing, you got to win big. So I'm going to take a big chance at the Admiral game. That's all this is. And now I got a chance to win $20 from Garrett. So
Oh God.
it'll be
If
monopoly.
you guys are out there, change your fleets. Everyone's gonna run Screed.
I don't want to do Jerry. I'm getting rid of Jerry. I'll do Mahdi instead.
Okay.
All right.
We both changed it.
Yeah.
Ozzel,
Guys.
man.
I think Jerry will make top 8 this year. I think Jerry's going to be necessary to survive swinging around some of these CIS fleets.
Yeah, that's actually the reason why I chose CIS last. I think CIS may win it this year. Like,
I think so. I think
honestly,
they might dominate.
yeah, like
A lot of firepower.
the nerf handle and metronome of swings has hard swung in that direction right now.
It could be like 4 CIS in the top 8. Like,
So my pick is Grievous. I think Grievous is just the most generic. I always didn't pick him, but like being able to get tokens back allows you to survive better. It just makes all of your suicidal things that you normally have better. Grievous, and then I'm also picking. Ooh, we'll go to that later. Okay, Grievous.
Trench. I've got a couple players I'm putting big money on. All right.
Are we talking like big money $20 on or big?
That's a secret, all right? No, I do think Trench will make top 8 actually.
Okay.
Because he amplifies everything that got fixed with the CIS.
going Marchuk. Still good.
Yep.
Well, Martuk was my number 2 choice. I decided Trench is also going to be the way this is going to go. So I'm agreeing with Garrett. I think there's some untapped potential there, and I think with the changes, with specifically like the Providence, I think you're going to see, him come to be in that top 8. So
We haven't talked about this, but Worlds is open. So on day 1, we're gonna see some wild 10 ones. Because there's no way to slice it. And I'm glad everybody's coming. But there's gonna be some people who have played 6 games facing some guy from Poland. And it's gonna be just epic how bad they're gonna get beat. I'm just saying, I'm like, so day 1 data is going to be real skewed.
Except for Kraken.
Day
and that'll
2.
just be a 7-4.
Day 2.
That's true.
Day
Even
2
against
will be
the
a much
person that's
better-
played 6 games, it's still a
Yeah.
7-4.
7-4.
but they'll make day 2.
Oh God, that's so funny. Okay, so what faction do you guys think is going to win? I'm very much so leaning toward CIS with a close, depending on how farming does Rebels.
I told my friends, Rebels, like, I think Rebels are going to dominate. But the more I've been thinking about it lately, I do think the CIS is going to get more points on that last day. I think they're just better at killing things. And they can just
Raz is pretty good at killing things too. Akbar's pretty good at killing things.
Yeah.
But are they good against killing CIS?
I mean, that's a great question, right? Because CIS has a lot of good tech, right? They got that invincible where they put early warning systems and your thermals.
And thermals.
You got Beast of Burden, which is like great against Overload Pulse. Like it's a direct counter.
They have Grievous.
They have Grievous.
Plus Beast of Burden.
Right?
Okay.
Plus point defense.
You can take PDIC, you can take Watt, like you can have that.
We haven't even talked about Watt recently.
People bring them, but you have that unkillable brick, right? Even if you shrib the thermals, you still have EWS, right? So you have that unkillable brick with Patriot's Fist Larkin. Just wait.
I think it's going to be the year of CIS. I could be wrong. I don't see Gar getting into day 3. I think Gar would be hard pressed to get into day 2 right now.
Yeah.
Empire is going to Empire, but I don't think Empire does well currently against CIS because CIS can outflak it and outshoot its squadrons unless you're a Sloan ball, but they're all generic, so it doesn't matter. So you have to use your Sloan ball through something that's just going to keep reappearing to get to the ships, and then their ships just going to not care.
So this is sorry to cut you off, John. The Empire, I think their biggest issue right now is CIS 134, which we really haven't talked about. I think their CIS 134 with 4 hyenas is so freaking dangerous.
It's only 14 fighters too, so
yeah. And then you have reserve hangar decks, right? They'll have at least 2 reserve hangar decks.
Yeah,
bring us. That is the Watt Tambor combo with Aflac is I just will not engage a 134 CIS to the extent that I don't have to. It's so dangerous.
So Jango Fett, is that going to be in the mix, do we think?
Yeah, I think he makes up because you can drop one of your bombers, one of the hyenas, because Django's also a double die bomber.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he's going to be everywhere. I think
yes.
people will put him in lists just because he's new for CIS, but he's also good.
He's a simple man just trying to make his way in the worlds.
That's right.
That's going to be the slogan for this year. Yeah, so
Armada's just trying to make our way.
Pretty much.
AdeptiCon.
We're just a simple game trying to make our way in this world. Yeah, I think it's going to be, if I were to do the ranks of the 4, it's going to be really, really close. I'm edging it toward CIS, Rebels, Imperial, and then I guess the other faction.
Yeah.
I think Empire will have the most people playing. So that'll go in their favor. Right? People love Empire.
Just statistically, yeah, it's just gonna happen.
Yeah, they'll be 40% of the field, right?
Correct.
maybe 33%. Like 40 might be really high.
But
I'll
it's not like
People like
people
trying
play it, especially because it's open. We're not going to have like Garrett said, we could have people there 6 games, and what are they going to fly? Star Destroyers.
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah. I'll go with CIS. I think CIS 134 is a problem. And I don't really know what the solution is.
I think CIS all ship. I think CIS MSU is a problem. CIS big ship is a problem. CIS 134. Like all three of those archetypes are equally nasty.
Yeah, CIS double large. Look out. Like
Double large plus you get what 20 vultures for 50 points. So
Stuff like that,
with TI 99 and Gozers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
What about you, Ken? Who do you think? What's your money on?
If you say Draven, I'm going to jump through the screen.
No, no, no. I think there will be one person bringing Draven just because they're nuts, or have a really brilliant idea. It'll be one of those people that, has only played 6 games, and not Draven. I kind of in agreement with the rest of you guys. I think CIS just has a power jump here. Um, I think Rebels might be second just because of the prevalence of MSU coming back full swing. And if it's not MSU, which Rebels are great at, it's going to be something like Akbar or Radis. So between MSU and the two fish, that's a big swing for Rebels. Then I think we're going to go to
and
Empire.
farming and farming.
Well, yeah, but I like ships blowing up. That's a personal
People
preference.
like winning though.
I mean, yeah, I know. Um, we should change how Armada works and ships give you victory points but anyway. Um, yeah, I think we're looking CIS and then Rebels, Empire. Rebels and Empire will probably be similar in stature, with Gar kind of at the back end, but I think we're going to have one Gar fleet, and it's going to be a really good player that's going to come in and maybe not quite make top 8, but maybe make 9th overall. But I think we're going to see one or two really good Gar players that are going to come out of nowhere, whether it's with Anakin, like Garrett thinks, or we've got Bale, which is probably a good option, or another 4 Pelta fleet that's just going to do really well.
I do think Anakin fleets are dangerous. They're hard to take points from them.
Mm-hmm.
They have 7 ships, right? None of them are worth anything. And they're just they'll out activate you. I think they're hard to take points from. So and if they get the right matchup, they can win big.
Yeah.
The biggest problem for Gar is our man from France is not coming.
Yeah,
The
well read.
best Anakin player in the world. So that's gonna hurt us hard as a faction.
Unfortunately, we don't there are no French coming this year, which is
that we know of. Yeah.
Yeah.
So big rip for Gar there.
All right, we'll do world renowned segment. What else are we playing? Or reading or consuming,
It's a good idea. What Star Wars content are you
Yes.
So
interacting with?
the last game I played probably was multiple episodes ago. Ken probably talked about this. I played Risk with him. That's really the last thing I've played that's not on the channel or going to be on the channel.
We played Axis and Allies too.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant. Did I say Risk?
Yeah, you said Risk.
We didn't play Risk. I don't own Risk anymore.
No, but I have played Risk recently. But anyway.
Yeah, so it's been so long I forgot even what game I played. Then the other big thing is my son now has been getting into Star Wars, which makes my heart grow multiple sizes. So I've watched now with him. He loves the Phantom Menace, so I've seen the Phantom Menace every single day, at least once through, for at least the last almost 3 weeks now. So he absolutely loves it. My wife's been buying him tons of little Star Wars figures and things off of eBay because why not? He now owns, I think, almost more Star Wars toys than I've ever owned in my life, which is fun. And sometimes he's awake in the morning because we have one of those cameras, to watch him, and he'll make Star Wars music, da 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 da. it's terrible, but you understand what he's doing. And then he has like stuffed animal like Darth Maul. Darth Maul is his favorite. It's so for me, playing games for myself hasn't been a thing, but enjoying Star Wars with my son has been a huge thing, and it's been awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing.
One day I'll teach him how to fly ships. So
It'll be an amazing day.
Well, as soon as he starts playing with micro machines, like it's game over, right? Because
Yep.
that's like the gateway.
it
Yeah.
is right to Armada.
It's baby steps and then a giant leap, and then he'll be winning worlds. So
Yeah.
there you go, John. Our future is secure. Ion Radio, the next generation. So
When Armada gets rebooted.
So I haven't really been playing too much. I've been actually getting in a couple Armada games and trying to get some worlds prep. But I have I've read 2 Han Solo novels lately. And Garrett and John were telling me it's like I read the first one. It stars Han Solo at Star's End, I think is what it's called, and they have like a trilogy. As I read all 3 of those, really a lot of fun. Just kind of mindless distraction. It was a lot of fun. I recommend it. I had never heard of it before, so
if you like those 3 books, check out the Lando Calrissian trilogy also.
Oh yeah,
Brian
the Lando
Daly.
comes.
That's the author's name, Brian Daly. Yeah.
Yeah, those are fun books. We were talking about this before we started the podcast, but those books are kind of like the start of all of the EU. And a lot of the things that we still see in Star Wars and they still blend in all stems back to that original books, like with the corporate authority and
Corporate
things.
sector authority.
corporate sector authority.
Yeah,
Yep.
like all of that starts right then and there. And that was like way before they even knew what the Star Wars universe and galaxy looked like, because in those books, the Empire doesn't actually control like everything like we see in modern canon.
Which was super cool, right? Because in Andor, right, they have corporate sector,
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
that's coming out soon too.
Trying to
hype.
make the universe bigger, right?
Yeah.
Right. Not everything's Jedi, right? Like, oh my God, have I seen another lightsaber in a Star Wars show? Like, just it's too much. But yeah, I had the Kindle suggested they have a Rogue Squadron bundle, and like all
those
10.
Those books are amazing.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
Rogue
I feel
Squadron
like-
is fantastic.
I feel like I could get used copies for like $3. So, but
Yeah, you can.
Half price books or something. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I listen to a lot of audiobooks, and they're redoing a lot of the Legends books on audio, like fresh, and the X-Wing ones are
Unabridged?
super good. Unabridged.
Because
Yeah.
that's a lot of the legend books, that's their problem. They abridge it. And like I've read some books and then I've gone back and tried to listen. I'm like, where's this part? I don't remember this getting skipped. And it's really, really frustrating when the books are abridged.
The Essential Legends collection ones. And like you'll see, because they have like this modern day cover on them. It's like not as good as the old covers, but if you ever look at it, you'll like know what I mean. It doesn't spark your imagination whatsoever. It's just like, ooh, silhouette. But yeah, I haven't been playing anything but Armada. I've been helping a lot of the locals just practice. But I did read speaking of Andor, the new novel that just came out by Alexander Freed, The Mask of Fear. It's the start of a new trilogy that takes place between A New Hope and Revenge of the Sith. And this book starts, like a month after Revenge of the Sith. So it's like Disney's new world building. It's pretty good. If you're like into Star Wars politics and like in-depth like world building of how the Rebel Alliance got its start and just nitty-gritty details, I really enjoy those books. So it's got action, but it's like mostly let's see what these room of senators are talking about, because they're like trying to like find a way to legislate Palpatine's power away. Like they think that's a real solution. They're like, oh, let's just vote away his ability to do anything. Okay.
How well did that work for him?
Yeah.
Haven't been doing much Star Wars stuff. Other than, John and I did a lot for Armada, specifically with Madness 2025. So a lot of that's going to be coming out post Adepticon. I've got one episode almost done, but a couple things left to do on there on the edit bench. Big things. I've been doing a lot of board gaming with my wife, so we've been playing, fun games. One called Cultivate, which is you're creating a little cult out of, different characters and whatnot. So it's kind of fun. But
I'm doing the same thing with my son in Star Wars.
we're doing it with little people about that big.
I love that name though, Cultivate.
That's a great name.
It's funny, and like every one of the characters has a little name to it that's kind of a play on um is something not totally kosher. I'm trying to think of one of
Like
them.
Marilyn Manson cults or something.
No, it's like the old Carmen San Diego games where the villains all had kind of a funny name like Just in Case. So it's along those kind of lines. There's one that does something with honeybees, and it's like pollinate or pollination, so pollination kind of a thing. So it's the word play, which is kind of fun. But the entire thing is just ridiculous. It's fun. It's cute. Simple game, which is easy. We've been also picking up. We're playing through the last Airbender game by OP Games, where it's kind of an update to the Hogwarts battle game system. It works a little bit better. We're having fun with that. So if you're a Last Airbender fan, that's fun. The only other thing I've been doing is I picked up a 3D printer a month or so ago, and my Bamboo A1 has been sitting here printing out little starships for Battlefront Valkyrie, which was really inexpensive to pick up. It's only like 15, $20. But the gameplay, real simple, nothing, really too extreme. You have to put it all together yourself, 3D print. But yeah, decent little easy game that doesn't require a lot of thought, which sometimes is exactly what you want.
Yeah, I read the rules. They seem pretty good.
Mhm.
All right. Well, I guess it's kind of our final thoughts going into Adepticon. I guess, if you're there and you listen, hopefully we've provided a little bit of entertainment on your travels for you, and come up, say hi to any of us, shake our hand, introduce yourself, tell me what your Discord name is, because I, might not know your real name. Um, put your, under your Adepticon badge, put your Discord name. That helps a lot.
It's not a bad idea. We should mark them down in there. Although I think everyone knows who the four of us are. So,
Hmm.
but I'm looking forward to it. It'll be fun streaming again at Adepticon. So, I think our first game, Garrett's what, Friday at 8 a.m.
I think so.
Yeah.
But you and I will be hanging out. I get there Tuesday night.
Oh, perfect.
So I'll be there all week. All week. My buddy and I are going to try and drive back Sunday night. That is our optimistic prediction. We'll see what happens. Lots of caffeine.
Yes. Sadly, I won't be around for too much. One of the reasons why you haven't seen as much as me is I switched jobs and everything like that, so I don't really have time off. So I'm helping set up on Wednesday, and I think I'll be there for probably the last game on Sunday. So those are the times you can catch me.
The one that matters.
The one that matters.
Yeah. So it'll be good. Be fun. So yeah, stop on by and say hello to us between rounds. There's like 30 minutes between rounds. So actually there'll be opportunities for us to have a bathroom break this year. And
Yeah, it's a lot of time actually.
that was done intentionally. Just part of it is if a game runs a little bit longer, we're not interrupting into the next round. And then the other part was just they wanted to start early and get done so you can go out to dinner before 9 p.m. So that was the other reason that things start earlier and they still were able to keep a little bit more time. So I think this is going to overall be good, but it'll be fun to see everyone again. Like I said, 150 people in the main tournament, not including all the players that are doing all the side events on Friday. So there's going to be a lot of Armada all weekend long, and we're going to cover 11 rounds.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. One last again, I'm gonna say this to all the amazing newer players coming to Armada. Like, this is your first Worlds. I'm so glad you're coming. It's gonna be amazing. You're gonna have a great time. But also, like, don't feel bad when you get the smackdown from some of these like world-class players. I like, don't get tilted. Just take it as a learning experience, because they're gonna fillet you like a fish. Some of them out there. So I like, and it's okay. You're gonna learn so much in that first, like, 3 rounds of the game. and then ask them questions. There's very few players out there who like won't talk to you. They'll tell you exactly what you did wrong, and probably like, you know, give you a year of experience in like 15 minutes. So
Yep.
it's gonna be good. I'm excited for y'all to meet some of these players. Because man,
All right, so
there's-
don't have Garrett give you your inspirational speech.
Yeah.
Guys, we're gonna lose. It's gonna be terrible.
I'm
And
just
not
like,
only
I
are you gonna lose
think
and it's
it's-
gonna be terrible, we're also gonna tell you why you lost and why you're
Yes,
so terrible.
I think it's a good way to go into it. It's an open world. It's like you're gonna face really, really good players. And you're gonna learn a lot.
There were a lot of really good players who like just missed LCQ last year, right?
Yeah.
And all of those people are now in, right? So
Yep.
it's the Wild West. It's a lot of fun. I mean, in 4 rounds, anything can happen, right? That's why we play 4, you know.
Right.
Yeah, that is true. And you can't really just sit there and submarine and hope to jump back up. You
Probably
have
not this year. No.
No. So it's going to be some tough competition, to be sure. Day one, you might get lucky, face a couple easier players. Day two, I think, is where the rubber's really going to hit the road, and we're going to see stronger players. I'd say assuming it's a 48 cut, that's the number I've been seeing kicked around. You might have 2 or 3 players that had some good games, got lucky to get in there, but the rest of them, I think, are going to be folks that actually are been doing this for a while. But you never know. I mean, maybe they'll all get flushed out in day one, and it'll all be new players for day 2 and 3. Probably not.
And just have like a good attitude, like
Yeah.
like
Yes.
everyone's going there, trying to win, but like only one person can win. And the easiest secret to being happy kind of in life is like appreciate other people's successes and to be able to find joy in other people having success. And if you can do that, you'll have a phenomenal time at AdeptiCon.
Okay.
And Adepticon's a lot of fun too.
Also, specifically for Armada, whenever I build a fleet, I have a goal for the fleet, and then especially going to tournaments, because I'm not a tournament fan, but I always have goals, and as I play the games, I try to check off those goals. So last Worlds, I made it to day 2, cool, with a fleet I've never flown before, and I settled on the day before it started. So me going against people that had played their fleet for 300 times is a little bit out of my league at that point. But I had goals. So like one of my goals is I'm just going to take an Onager point and move it with an objective farther than normal. Or I had Bosk. So Bosk, I was going to be able to shoot something and kill like an ace with the accuracy that it generated. Like make goals for yourself so winning isn't the only thing that you're going to succeed at. Like it's just a way so I can have a checklist of things I succeeded at while losing.
What John is referring to is he put his targeting beacon on an infested fields, right?
Correct.
And then you moved it further.
Correct.
And that works apparently.
It 100% works. Yeah. It was extra extreme. It was extreme with like 2 X's like we're in the 90s. Yeah.
dirty.
So but like
That's real dirty.
I mean, how many other people can say they did it at a world's level? This guy
Probably
right
only you,
here.
John.
Probably only me, because no one else. Yeah. But like that, like come up with ideas of things you want to try in the match. And then it's not about winning or losing. It's about enjoying and having fun and checking off things on your list.
I was pretty low at Gen Con last year, but I got an Akbar slash in, and that made me happy.
Exactly. It's about the stories that you can tell.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
Yeah, and have fun doing it, because you know what, one of the best part is some of my better games were nothing for top tier spots. They were just mid or low field games, and it was just a fun experience. And there's no pressure at that point to do well, so you actually have a good time playing. And half of this is about playing against the opponent and having a good time with them, kind of like what Ryan was alluding to earlier. And you know what? Heck, if you could have a good time and you get a couple stories to talk about during and after the tournament, that's really all you can ask for. And if you don't make it to day 2 or day 3, there's tons of tables that are going to be open for you to play some Armada on.
And tons of players.
Yeah.
And if you get beat, just go to Garrett in between rounds for a pep talk.
Yeah.
He'll bring you up.
I'll let you know why.
Yeah, he'll tell you exactly why. So it'll be great.
Okay, so we're all excited to see you at Worlds and Adepticon. Thank you very much for listening. You can check us out on wherever you find your podcast. You can also find the video version of this on Ion Radio's YouTube channel. Until next time, I'm John.
I'm Ken.
I'm Garrett.
And I'm Ryan.
And you've been listening to the Command Stack.